What if everything you've been taught about money is keeping you broke? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Picture this for a moment. You wake up every morning, check your bank account, and immediately feel that familiar knot in your stomach. You work harder, chase more opportunities, apply every money-making strategy you can find, yet somehow wealth continues to slip through your fingers like water. Has this ever happened to you? You're not alone. And more importantly, you're not failing. You're simply operating from a fundamentally flawed understanding of what money actually is. Today, we're diving deep into the groundbreaking insights from Marcus R. Davidson's transformative work published by Audiovision Studios, a guide that's completely revolutionizing how thousands of people around the world are approaching wealth creation. What you're about to discover might surprise you, because it challenges everything mainstream financial education has taught us about money, abundance, and prosperity. Here's the truth that will shake you to your core. Money isn't what you think it is. Those green bills in your wallet, those numbers on your screen, those shiny coins jingling in your pocket, they're not actually money. They're merely physical representations of something far more profound, something that exists in the realm of energy, vibration, and consciousness itself. When you understand money as a powerful energetic force that permeates every aspect of our existence, rather than just pieces of paper or metal, your entire relationship with abundance begins to shift, from scarcity thinking to recognizing infinite possibility. This isn't some new age fantasy or wishful thinking. This is about understanding the fundamental nature of wealth creation that the most successful people in history have intuitively grasped. Think about it. Why do some people seem to attract money effortlessly, while others struggle despite working twice as hard? Why do certain individuals bounce back from financial setbacks with incredible speed, while others remain stuck in cycles of lack for years? The answer lies in understanding that we've been approaching wealth from completely the wrong angle. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share will fundamentally change how you think about your financial future. The problem isn't that you're not smart enough, not working hard enough, or not using the right strategies. The problem is that you've been conditioned to see yourself as separate from abundance, as someone who needs to chase, capture, and acquire money from external sources. But here's where it gets fascinating. Marcus R. Davidson reveals that this very act of chasing money is what pushes it further away from us. When we search for wealth as something outside ourselves, we unconsciously reinforce the belief that we don't already have it, that we lack it. This creates an energetic separation that actually repels the very thing we're trying to attract. The revolutionary principle we're exploring today teaches us something that might sound impossible at first. We are not separate from abundance. We are abundance itself. Rather than continuing to search for money as something external to capture and possess, we must recognize that we are the creators. We are the source of prosperity. This single shift in perspective has the power to transform us from desperate seekers into powerful embodiments of wealth. What you're about to learn challenges every conventional approach to money-making, and as we continue, you'll discover exactly how to make this profound transformation. Now let me paint you a picture that will completely revolutionize how you see your place in this vast universe of abundance. Imagine for a moment that the entire cosmos is like an infinite ocean of pure potential, stretching endlessly in every direction. Within this ocean, you exist simultaneously as both a single drop containing all the properties of the whole, and as the entire ocean itself. This isn't metaphorical thinking. This is the hidden truth about your relationship with wealth that most people never discover. Every wave of abundance that rises and falls in this cosmic ocean moves in perfect harmony with your intentions, your mindset, and your energetic alignment with the universal flow of prosperity. When you truly grasp this concept, you begin to understand that scarcity is nothing more than an illusion created by limited perception. You're not a small, powerless being hoping to catch a few drops of abundance from some external source. You are the source. But here's where most people get trapped in a cycle that actually works against them. The moment you start actively seeking money, something fascinating and counterproductive happens behind the scenes of your consciousness. This relentless search reinforces the very belief that's keeping you broke, the belief that you lack abundance, that it's somewhere out there waiting to be found, captured, or earned through struggle. This creates what I call an energetic separation, an invisible barrier that actually repels the wealth you're desperately trying to attract. Think about it this way. When you seek something, you unconsciously affirm to the universe that you don't already possess it. You're essentially broadcasting a signal of lack, and the universe, which responds to your dominant vibration, gives you exactly what you're vibrating: more experiences of lacking money. This revelation completely contradicts what we've been conditioned to believe about wealth creation, but it aligns perfectly with a fundamental metaphysical law that governs all manifestation. What you focus on expands in your reality. The problem is, most people think they're focusing on abundance when they're actually focusing on the absence of it. Consider the person who constantly checks their bank balance with anxiety, who worries about bills, who thinks thoughts like, "I need more money," or "I can't afford this." These individuals believe they're being financially responsible, but energetically, they're reinforcing their experience of financial limitation. Every worried thought, every fearful glance at their account, every desperate job search sends out ripples in that cosmic ocean that say, "I don't have enough." The transformation begins when you realize that your relationship with money isn't about acquisition, it's about recognition. You're not trying to get something you don't have, you're awakening to something you've always been. This shift in perspective changes everything about how abundance flows into your experience. Now, I want to go even deeper into this concept, because understanding the mechanics of this energetic reversal is crucial for your financial transformation. There's a profound difference between someone who embodies wealth consciousness and someone who chases money from a place of need, and this difference creates entirely different results in the physical world. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to embody abundance," if this resonates with your journey toward financial transformation. The mechanics behind this transformation reveal something absolutely fascinating about the nature of reality itself. Everything in existence, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, operates at specific vibrational frequencies. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and even your bank account are all expressions of energy vibrating at different rates. What most people don't realize is that money, like everything else in this universe, responds to specific energetic signatures. When you align your personal vibration with the frequencies of abundance, success, and prosperity, something remarkable happens. Wealth begins to materialize into your life, as effortlessly and automatically as air flowing into your lungs. You're not forcing it, you're not chasing it, you're simply becoming a vibrational match for it. This is why some people seem to have the golden touch while others struggle, despite their best efforts. The profound impact of this understanding becomes clear when you realize that behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough, there's been a shift in consciousness first. The external world of money is simply reflecting back the internal world of vibration. Change the vibration, and the reflection changes accordingly. This isn't some modern self-help concept dreamed up by motivational speakers. Hidden within the fabric of reality itself lie ancient metaphysical principles that have existed for millennia, long before the first currency was ever minted. These timeless laws of prosperity have been discovered and rediscovered by wisdom keepers throughout history, from ancient Egyptian priestesses to Tibetan monks, from medieval alchemists to indigenous shamans across every continent. What's remarkable is that despite different cultures, languages, and time periods, these wisdom traditions all arrived at the same fundamental revelations about the nature of abundance. They understood that true wealth creation happens through consciousness transformation, rather than external manipulation. They knew that the journey to prosperity begins within the realm of mind and spirit, not in the marketplace. These ancient masters recognized something that modern society has largely forgotten: that there's a direct correlation between your inner state and your outer circumstances. They developed sophisticated practices and teachings designed to align human consciousness with what they called the divine flow of abundance. Their methods weren't about working harder, saving more, or finding better investment strategies. They were about becoming a different person energetically. The hidden truth they discovered is that when you transform your relationship with abundance at the deepest levels of consciousness, the external world has no choice but to mirror that transformation back to you. This is why their teachings focused on cultivating specific states of being rather than learning specific techniques for getting money. Modern quantum physics is now proving what these ancient wisdom keepers intuitively understood thousands of years ago. We're living in a responsive universe where consciousness and matter are intimately connected. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotional states are constantly communicating with the quantum field of infinite potential, literally programming your reality at the most fundamental level. Understanding this connection between consciousness and manifestation opens up possibilities that most people never even consider. It reveals that your financial situation isn't determined by external factors beyond your control, but by internal factors that are completely within your influence. Now, I want to explore exactly how these ancient principles translate into practical transformation in your modern life, because knowing these concepts intellectually is just the beginning. Write in the comments, "I'm ready for consciousness transformation," if you're beginning to see the connection between your inner world and your financial reality. The practical transformation begins when you start peeling back the layers of what you think you know about money itself. Most people see money as nothing more than a simple tool for trade, a means to an end, something completely separate from their personal growth and spiritual development. But this surface-level understanding keeps them trapped in cycles of financial struggle, because they're missing the deeper truth about money's real nature. At its core, money represents something far more profound than pieces of paper or digital numbers. It embodies an energetic essence, a specific vibrational frequency that permeates every aspect of our existence. This frequency serves as a direct extension of our own consciousness and spiritual development. Understanding this connection changes everything about how you approach wealth creation. Think about it this way: money isn't just something you use to buy things. It's actually a reflection of your inner world, a mirror showing you exactly where you are in your personal growth journey. When you begin to see money as an energetic extension of who you are at your deepest level, you realize that financial transformation is actually a byproduct of personal transformation. This revelation explains why simply learning new money-making strategies often fails to create lasting change. You can master every investment technique, learn every business model, and apply every financial hack, but if your inner energetic state remains unchanged, you'll keep attracting the same financial results. The external methods can only take you as far as your internal frequency allows. The hidden mechanics behind sustainable wealth creation operate through what I call harmonic alignment. When you achieve harmony with yourself and your authentic nature, something beautiful happens behind the scenes of your reality. You naturally begin to attract financial abundance because you're magnetizing what aligns perfectly with your elevated energetic state and spiritual frequency. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not, or forcing yourself into a fake positive mindset. True harmonic alignment happens when you discover and embrace your authentic self, when you align with your deepest values, when you operate from a place of genuine integrity and purpose. Money responds to this authenticity because it recognizes the vibrational match. The impact of this understanding on your financial life is profound. Instead of constantly trying to figure out the next strategy or opportunity, you begin focusing on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts abundance. You start making decisions from a place of alignment rather than desperation. You begin to trust your intuition about financial opportunities because you understand that your inner guidance system is connected to the same energetic intelligence that governs money flow. This shift in perspective transforms every financial decision you make. When you're operating from harmonic alignment, you're not just choosing investments or career moves based on potential returns. You're choosing paths that resonate with your authentic self, and these choices inevitably lead to greater abundance because they're supported by the natural flow of universal energy. Now, I want to reveal the specific spiritual laws that govern this energy exchange because understanding these invisible principles is what separates those who create lasting wealth from those who struggle despite their best efforts. Write in the comments, "I understand the energy connection," if you're beginning to see how your inner state directly influences your financial reality. These spiritual laws that govern money flow operate with the same precision and consistency as the laws of physics, yet most people remain completely unaware of their existence. Behind the scenes of every financial transaction, every business deal, every investment decision, these invisible principles are determining the outcome based on the energetic signature of the people involved. Money operates according to specific spiritual laws that reveal a fascinating truth about its nature. It isn't drawn to desperation, greed, or fear-based thinking the way most people assume. Instead, it flows naturally toward appreciation, gratitude, service, and wisdom. This explains why some of the most desperate and greedy people struggle financially, while others who operate from service and gratitude seem to attract abundance effortlessly. Understanding and respecting these energetic principles allows you to work with money's natural spiritual laws rather than constantly fighting against them. When you align your decisions and actions with these laws, you're no longer swimming upstream against the current of abundance. You're flowing with it, being carried by forces that are far more powerful than any individual effort or strategy. The hidden truth is that money has its own intelligence, its own preferences about where it wants to flow and accumulate. It's naturally attracted to environments where it feels appreciated rather than feared, where it's seen as a tool for creation rather than survival, where it's used for service rather than hoarding. This intelligence behind money flow explains why lottery winners often lose their wealth quickly, while those who build it consciously tend to maintain and grow it. The transformation begins with examining your current relationship with money at the deepest level. This isn't about surface-level thoughts like, "I want more money." It's about uncovering the unconscious beliefs, emotions, and patterns that shape every financial decision you make. Do you perceive money as a scarce resource that needs to be hoarded and protected, or as abundant energy flowing freely through the universe? This fundamental shift in perspective determines your entire experience with wealth, because it shapes how you show up energetically in every financial interaction. When you see money as scarce, you approach it from a place of lack, which creates tension, anxiety, and desperation in your energy field. Money, responding to this energetic signature, moves away from these uncomfortable vibrations. The journey of transformation involves recognizing the stories you've inherited about money from your family, culture, and past experiences. Many people discover they're operating from financial beliefs that aren't even their own, but were unconsciously absorbed during childhood. These inherited patterns continue to shape their financial reality until they make the conscious decision to examine and transform them. The impact of changing your relationship with money extends far beyond your bank account. It affects your self-worth, your relationships, your career choices, and your overall sense of empowerment in life. When you heal your relationship with money, you heal your relationship with abundance itself, which opens up possibilities in every area of your existence. Now, I want to explore the profound difference between abundance as a state of being versus something you acquire from external sources, because this distinction is where most people get completely turned around in their financial journey. Write in the comments, "I'm transforming my money relationship," if you're ready to examine and shift these deep patterns in your own life. This distinction between abundance as something you have versus something you are represents one of the most profound revelations in understanding wealth creation. Most people spend their entire lives trying to acquire abundance from external sources, collecting possessions, building portfolios, accumulating assets, believing that once they have enough stuff, they'll finally feel abundant. But this approach creates a never-ending cycle of seeking that keeps true prosperity just out of reach. True abundance isn't a material possession that you acquire from somewhere outside yourself. It's an expansive state of being that recognizes infinite possibilities existing all around you at every moment. When you make the fundamental shift to embodying abundance as your natural state, something remarkable happens behind the scenes of your reality. You become a living magnet for prosperity in all its forms, not just financial wealth, but richness in relationships, opportunities, creativity, and experiences. This transformation in your way of being changes everything about how abundance shows up in your life. Instead of frantically searching for opportunities, they begin appearing naturally. Instead of forcing connections and deals, you find yourself in the right place at the right time with the right people. Instead of struggling to make money, you discover that prosperity flows to you as naturally as water flows downhill. The journey toward this state of being requires a complete reimagining of your relationship with the universe itself. Envision yourself not as a separate entity, trying to get something from the world, but as a vessel completely immersed in the vast sea of universal energy. In this cosmic ocean, abundance flows freely in and out without any limitation or restriction. You're not trying to capture and hold on to this energy, you're allowing it to move through you. This perspective reveals a hidden truth that changes everything about how you approach wealth creation. There are no restrictions on what you can receive or give when you align with this eternal flow of cosmic prosperity. The limitations you've experienced aren't imposed by the universe. They're created by your own resistance to this natural flow. The impact of this understanding on your daily decisions becomes profound. When you know you're immersed in an infinite sea of abundance, you stop making choices from scarcity and fear. You stop hoarding resources because you understand that restricting the flow actually diminishes what comes to you. You begin operating from trust and generosity, which creates a positive feedback loop that accelerates the flow of abundance in your direction. This state of being also transforms how you show up in your relationships, your work, and your creative endeavors. People are naturally drawn to those who embody abundance because they can feel the expansive energy radiating from them. Opportunities seem to seek out these individuals because they're vibrating at a frequency that matches possibility and growth. Now, I want to reveal the specific mechanics of how this flow operates in the physical world, because understanding the difference between being a conduit versus a container will completely revolutionize your approach to building and maintaining wealth. Write in the comments, "I am abundance flowing," if you're ready to embody this state of being, rather than continuing to chase abundance from external sources. The mechanics of how this flow operates reveal one of the most counterintuitive truths about wealth creation that most people never discover. Wealth doesn't behave like a stagnant pond of limited resources that you need to compete for, fight over, or hoard once. You get it. Instead, it operates like a mighty river of energy that's constantly flowing and moving, seeking the path of least resistance as it makes its journey through the landscape of human experience. This revelation completely transforms how you approach building and maintaining prosperity. When you understand wealth as a dynamic force rather than a static resource, you realize that trying to dam it up or control its flow actually works against your financial interests. By surrendering to this natural flow and trusting the process, you become an active participant in the dynamic dance of universal abundance, rather than someone standing on the sidelines trying to catch what you can. The hidden truth behind sustainable wealth lies in making a fundamental decision about how you want to relate to this flow. Most people unconsciously adopt what I call a container mentality, where they see themselves as vessels designed to accumulate and hold on to wealth. They focus on getting money and keeping it, building walls around their resources, protecting what they have from potential loss or theft. But here's where the transformation happens. When you shift from being a container that hoards wealth to becoming a conduit through which abundance flows freely, something magical occurs behind the scenes of your financial reality. The more you allow prosperity to move through you and share it with others, the greater the flow becomes in your own life and experience. This isn't about giving away money you can't afford to lose or being careless with your resources. It's about understanding that your role in the cosmic economy is to facilitate the circulation of abundance rather than stopping it in its tracks. When you operate as a conduit, you're working with the natural principles that govern energy flow throughout the universe. Think about rivers in nature. The healthiest, most vibrant rivers are those with strong currents that keep the water fresh and moving. Stagnant pools, on the other hand, become breeding grounds for toxicity and eventually dry up. Your relationship with money operates according to these same principles. The more you allow it to flow through your life toward worthy causes and meaningful purposes, the more the universe trusts you with greater amounts. This understanding creates a profound shift in your daily decisions about money. Instead of making choices based on fear of loss, you begin making decisions based on how to best serve the flow of abundance. You invest in opportunities that create value for others. You spend money on experiences and items that enhance your ability to contribute. You give generously because you know it's not depleting your resources, but actually increasing your capacity to receive. The impact of adopting a conduit mentality extends far beyond your personal finances. It changes how others perceive and interact with you. People are naturally drawn to those who embody this flowing energy because they intuitively sense that being around them leads to more opportunities and possibilities. Now, I want to explore how this principle connects to one of the most challenging aspects of financial transformation: releasing the deep-seated scarcity programming that keeps most people trapped in cycles of lack. Write in the comments, "I choose to be a conduit," if you're ready to embrace this flowing approach to wealth rather than trying to hoard and protect what you have. Releasing the deep-seated scarcity programming that keeps most people trapped requires confronting one of the most persistent illusions that shapes human experience. The scarcity mindset operates like a powerful filter that distorts your perception of reality, causing you to focus intensely on what's missing while remaining blind to the abundance that surrounds you every moment. Shedding this limiting perspective begins with recognizing just how absurd the scarcity illusion actually is when you step back and examine it objectively. Picture yourself swimming in a vast ocean of infinite abundance, yet instead of enjoying the limitless water around you, you're desperately clinging to a tiny pebble of perceived lack, convinced that this small stone represents your entire reality. The transformation happens the moment you release your grip on that pebble and recognize your inherent connection to the infinite universal prosperity that's been supporting you all along. This shift in perspective isn't just a mental exercise or positive thinking technique. It's a profound recognition of what you actually are at the deepest level of your being. The hidden truth that changes everything is understanding that you're not merely a physical being struggling with material limitations in a world of finite resources. You're actually a spiritual entity temporarily experiencing physical reality, and as such, you're an inseparable part of an infinite source of abundance. Recognizing this truth becomes the foundation for transcending all scarcity-based thinking patterns because it reveals that lack is nothing more than a temporary experience, not your permanent condition. When you remember your true nature as a spiritual being, you understand that the limitations you perceive are simply part of the physical game you're playing, not absolute realities that define your existence. This recognition creates a profound shift in how you make decisions about money, relationships, career choices, and every other aspect of your life. Instead of operating from survival mode, constantly worried about whether there's enough to go around, you begin making choices from an expanded perspective that knows abundance is your natural state. The journey of remembering your spiritual nature while navigating physical reality requires a delicate balance. You're not denying the practical aspects of money management or pretending that financial responsibilities don't exist. Instead, you're approaching these physical realities from a higher vantage point that sees beyond the immediate appearance of limitation to the infinite potential that's always available. Behind the scenes of your daily experience, this shift in identity creates ripple effects that touch every area of your life. Your energy changes, your confidence expands, your decision-making improves, and your ability to recognize and act on opportunities increases dramatically. People around you sense this transformation, even if they can't articulate what's different about you. The impact of embodying this spiritual perspective while engaging with the material world becomes a bridge between the metaphysical principles we've been exploring and their practical application in your financial life. Now, I want to reveal how this spiritual foundation translates into the cultivation of what's known as prosperity consciousness, where abundance becomes your default setting rather than something you occasionally experience. Write in the comments, "I remember my infinite nature," if you're ready to release the scarcity programming and embrace your true identity as a spiritual being connected to unlimited abundance. Cultivating prosperity consciousness, as your default setting, requires addressing one of the most overlooked obstacles that keeps people financially stuck: the negative emotions they carry around money itself. These emotional barriers operate behind the scenes of your conscious awareness, quietly sabotaging your best efforts to create wealth. Fear and guilt around money serve as powerful energetic blocks that literally repel abundance from your life. Think about how this works. When you feel guilty about wanting money, ashamed of your financial desires, or fearful of what having wealth might mean about you as a person, you're broadcasting a conflicted signal to the universe. You're essentially saying, "I want this, but I also reject it," which creates an internal tug-of-war that prevents any real progress. Since money is simply energy in motion, and you have complete control over your own energetic state, releasing these limiting emotions opens the floodgates to prosperity. The transformation happens when you realize that these negative feelings aren't protecting you from anything real. They're just outdated programming that no longer serves your highest good. Many people carry guilt about money because they've been conditioned to believe that spiritual people shouldn't care about wealth, or that wanting financial abundance somehow makes them greedy or materialistic. Others fear that having money will change them, corrupt them, or create problems in their relationships. These concerns, while understandable, are based on fundamental misunderstandings about the nature of money and abundance. The journey toward prosperity consciousness involves making abundance your natural state of being, rather than something you occasionally experience when external circumstances align perfectly. This represents a complete paradigm shift in how you approach wealth creation. Instead of waiting for the right opportunity, the perfect timing, or ideal conditions to feel abundant, you choose to embody abundance as your default setting regardless of your current financial situation. Cultivating this mindset requires nurturing a perspective that naturally fosters wealth in all aspects of life, not just financial gain. True prosperity consciousness recognizes richness in relationships, vibrant health, creative fulfillment, meaningful work, and deep personal satisfaction. When you expand your definition of wealth beyond money alone, you begin attracting abundance in multiple dimensions simultaneously. This expanded awareness creates a positive feedback loop that accelerates your financial transformation. When you feel genuinely wealthy in your relationships and health, when you experience abundance in your creativity and personal growth, you radiate an energy that naturally attracts material prosperity. As well, you're no longer approaching money from a place of desperate need, but from a foundation of already feeling rich and fulfilled. The impact of this shift touches every decision you make throughout your day. Instead of choosing from scarcity and limitation, you begin making decisions from abundance and possibility. Your career choices, investment decisions, spending habits, and even your daily interactions with others all transform when prosperity consciousness becomes your new normal. Now, I want to explore the fascinating connection between consciousness and quantum physics, revealing how your thoughts and emotions literally program the field of infinite possibilities that surrounds you at every moment. Write in the comments, "Abundance is my new normal," if you're ready to make prosperity consciousness your default state, rather than waiting for external circumstances to create wealth for you. The fascinating connection between consciousness and quantum physics reveals that your thoughts and emotions are literally programming the field of infinite possibilities that surrounds you every moment. This understanding transforms visualization from a simple mental exercise into a powerful technology for reshaping reality itself. Moving beyond the realm of simple wanting into the dimension of being requires engaging all your senses in abundance visualization with an intensity that most people never experience. This isn't about casually daydreaming or hoping for better circumstances. It's about creating such a vivid, multi-dimensional sensory experience that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between your visualization and actual reality. When you see prosperity in crystal clear detail, when you can touch the textures of your abundant life, taste the satisfaction of financial freedom, smell the environments where wealth flows freely, and hear the sounds of success surrounding you, something profound happens behind the scenes of your consciousness. Your brain begins forming new neural pathways that align with abundance rather than lack, literally rewiring your mental circuitry to support wealth creation. This transformation occurs because your subconscious mind processes sensory information as current reality rather than future possibility. When you engage all five senses in abundance visualization, you're essentially programming your internal guidance system to navigate toward experiences that match these vivid sensory impressions. Your decisions, actions, and even unconscious behaviors begin aligning with the prosperity you've embedded so deeply in your consciousness. The hidden truth about this process is that it works regardless of your current financial situation. Your bank account balance doesn't determine the effectiveness of this practice. Your commitment to the sensory experience does. The more real you make abundance feel in your inner world, the more quickly it manifests in your outer circumstances. This sensory programming creates the perfect foundation for one of the most powerful prosperity practices ever discovered: developing an authentic gratitude mindset that operates like a magnetic field, attracting additional blessings into your life. But this isn't about forcing yourself to feel thankful when you're struggling, or pretending to appreciate circumstances that genuinely need improvement. True abundance gratitude recognizes the wealth that already exists in your experience, not just material possessions, but the richness of your relationships, the miracle of your health, the beauty of nature around you, the opportunities available to you, and countless other forms of prosperity that most people overlook completely. Each genuine expression of thankfulness serves as a beacon that signals to the universe your readiness to receive more abundance. This creates an upward spiral of appreciation and manifestation that continuously expands your prosperity, because gratitude operates according to the spiritual law that like attracts like. When you radiate appreciation, you magnetize more experiences worthy of appreciation. The impact of this practice extends far beyond attracting money. Gratitude transforms your entire relationship with life itself, shifting you from a victim mentality that focuses on what's wrong to an abundance mentality that recognizes what's magnificent about your existence. Now, I want to reveal the most advanced technique for accelerating this transformation by tapping directly into what quantum physicists call the field of infinite potential, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Write in the comments, "I feel abundance in all my senses," if you're ready to engage this deeper level of sensory programming to accelerate your prosperity manifestation. This advanced technique involves tapping directly into what quantum physicists call the field of infinite potential, a limitless reservoir where everything you desire already exists in pure potentiality, simply waiting for your conscious participation to bring it into physical reality. Understanding this concept revolutionizes your entire approach to wealth creation, because it reveals that you're not trying to create something from nothing. You're selecting from infinite possibilities that already exist. The hidden truth that changes everything is recognizing that you're not a passive observer, hoping the universe will eventually deliver abundance to your doorstep. You're an active co-creator with the power to manifest your desires through energetic alignment with the frequencies that already contain your financial dreams. This shift in perspective transforms you from someone who waits for opportunities to someone who consciously selects from an infinite menu of possibilities. The journey into this quantum realm requires understanding that everything in existence operates according to vibrational frequencies, including your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and yes, even your bank account. Like a radio that must be precisely tuned to receive specific stations, you must adjust your personal vibration to match the frequency of prosperity, rather than remaining stuck on the static-filled station of scarcity. This frequency matching process isn't about pretending you're wealthy when you're not, or forcing positive thoughts over genuine concerns. It's about making subtle but profound adjustments to your internal state that align you with the energetic signature of abundance. When you begin to think, feel, and make decisions from the perspective of someone who naturally attracts wealth, your external circumstances have no choice but to mirror this internal transformation. The impact of achieving energetic synchronization with abundance creates results that often surpass your current imagination and expectations. Once you're properly tuned to prosperity's frequency, opportunities appear that you never could have planned or predicted. People enter your life who open doors you didn't even know existed. Ideas come to you that seem to arrive from beyond your normal thinking patterns. Coincidences and synchronicities multiply exponentially. Behind the scenes of this process, you're literally programming the quantum field with your consistent vibrational output. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every decision you make sends signals into this field of infinite potential, instructing it about what experiences to manifest in your physical reality. When your signals consistently match the frequency of abundance, the field responds by materializing abundant experiences. This understanding reveals why some people seem to have everything work out for them, while others struggle despite their best efforts. It's not about luck, connections, or being in the right place at the right time. It's about being energetically aligned with the frequencies that contain the experiences you desire. The transformation accelerates when you realize that mastering this frequency alignment isn't just about achieving financial goals. It's about stepping into your power as a conscious creator who understands how reality actually works at the deepest levels. Now, I want to explore the specific methods for creating such powerful visceral experiences that the universe has no choice but to respond with matching manifestations in your physical world. Write in the comments, "I'm aligned with abundance frequency," if you're ready to fine-tune your vibration to match the prosperity that's already waiting for you in the quantum field. Creating deep, visceral experiences of your desired reality operates like sending powerful signals directly into the quantum field, activating the law of attraction with unprecedented force. This isn't about casual daydreaming or wishful thinking. This is about generating such intense emotional and sensory experiences that they literally imprint themselves onto the fabric of reality itself. The hidden mechanics behind this process reveal why some people manifest their desires quickly, while others struggle for years with the same techniques. The difference lies in the emotional intensity and specificity of their inner experiences. When you create visualizations that are emotionally charged, detailed, and felt deeply in your body, you're essentially placing an urgent order with the universe that demands immediate attention and rapid delivery. Think about how this works in your own life. The experiences that have shaped you most profoundly weren't just mental concepts. They were full-body, emotional events that left lasting impressions on your consciousness. The universe responds to this same level of intensity when you consciously create these experiences through visualization. The more specific and emotionally charged your inner reality becomes, the faster the universe responds to deliver matching manifestations in your physical world. But here's where most people get stuck in their transformation journey. They try to build abundance on a foundation of limiting beliefs that unconsciously sabotage their best efforts. These beliefs operate like invisible anchors, keeping you tethered to old patterns even when you're consciously trying to create change. The process of inner alchemy involves transforming these limiting beliefs about money from rough, uncut stones into gleaming gems of empowerment. This isn't about positive thinking or affirmations that contradict what you truly believe at deeper levels. It's about consciously examining the beliefs you've inherited and deciding whether they actually serve your highest good or keep you trapped in outdated patterns of scarcity thinking. Most of these limiting beliefs weren't chosen by you. They were absorbed during childhood from family members, cultural conditioning, and past experiences that may no longer be relevant to your current life. Beliefs like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," "Rich people are greedy," "You have to work hard for money," or "Spiritual people shouldn't care about wealth," continue to shape your financial reality until you make the conscious decision to examine and transform them. The journey of inner alchemy requires becoming a detective of your own consciousness, investigating which thoughts and beliefs are actually yours versus which ones you've unconsciously adopted from others. When you discover beliefs that limit your prosperity, you can consciously choose to transmute them into empowering perspectives that support your financial goals. This transformation happens through questioning the validity and usefulness of each limiting belief. Does believing that money is the root of all evil actually serve your highest good? Or does it keep you stuck in financial struggle? Does the belief that you don't deserve wealth help you create a better life? Or does it sabotage your efforts to build security for yourself and your family? The impact of this inner alchemy extends far beyond your bank account because these beliefs influence every decision you make about career opportunities, investment choices, business ventures, and countless other financial activities that shape your prosperity. Now, I want to reveal how this personal transformation connects to one of the most powerful principles in the universe, the recognition that supply itself is infinite, and that scarcity is nothing more than a temporary illusion. Write in the comments, "I'm transforming my money" beliefs, if you're ready to examine and transmute the limiting beliefs that have been secretly sabotaging your financial success. This personal transformation connects directly to one of the most liberating principles in the universe, the recognition that supply itself is infinite, and scarcity is nothing more than a temporary illusion created by limited perspective. The principle of infinite supply operates on a simple yet profound understanding that the universe contains endless resources, just like the countless leaves on trees that regenerate each season, the grains of sand on beaches that seem to multiply endlessly, or the stars in the night sky that stretch beyond human comprehension. Money, being energy rather than a finite physical resource, follows this same principle of infinite availability. When you truly grasp this concept, you realize that financial limitation isn't caused by a shortage of money in the world. It's created by your inability to align with the flow of abundance that's constantly circulating around you. This revelation transforms how you approach every financial decision and opportunity. Instead of operating from a mindset that believes there's only so much wealth to go around, you begin making choices from the understanding that abundance is constantly being created and recreated throughout the universe. You stop competing with others for limited resources and start collaborating with the infinite creative force that generates endless prosperity. The journey toward embodying this principle requires stepping into what ancient wisdom traditions called the archetype of the alchemist. This isn't about medieval chemistry or turning lead into gold in a laboratory. It's about recognizing yourself as someone who possesses the power to transform base thoughts into golden principles of abundance. Someone who sees potential in every situation, rather than obstacles in every challenge. When you embody the alchemist archetype, you understand that you're not at the mercy of external circumstances, waiting for the economy to improve, for your boss to give you a raise, or for the perfect opportunity to appear. You become the master of your own destiny and financial reality, because you recognize that transformation begins within your own consciousness and radiates outward into your physical experience. The alchemist sees every setback as raw material for creating something greater, every financial challenge as an opportunity to develop stronger abundance muscles, every limitation as a stepping stone toward expanded prosperity. This perspective creates a completely different relationship with money problems because they're no longer seen as evidence of your failure, but as invitations to evolve your consciousness to the next level. Behind the scenes of this transformation, you're developing what I call abundance immunity, the ability to maintain your prosperity consciousness regardless of external circumstances. Market crashes, job losses, unexpected expenses, and other financial challenges no longer have the power to derail your abundance mindset because you understand that these are temporary fluctuations in an infinitely abundant universe. The impact of embodying this archetype extends far beyond personal wealth creation. When you operate as an alchemist, you become a catalyst for transformation in the lives of others, someone who helps people see possibilities where they previously saw only problems. Now, I want to explore how this alchemical perspective connects to one of the most important aspects of sustainable prosperity, learning to attune yourself to the natural rhythm and flow of abundance itself. Write in the comments, "I am the alchemist of my reality," if you're ready to embody this transformative archetype and master your own financial destiny through conscious creation. Learning to attune yourself to the natural rhythm and flow of abundance reveals one of the most sophisticated aspects of wealth creation that separates true masters from those who struggle with inconsistent results. Like a skilled musician who doesn't fight against the beat but flows with it, you must develop the sensitivity to sense and harmonize with the ebb and flow that characterizes the universal circulation of prosperity. This natural rhythm operates like a cosmic dance of giving and receiving, where abundance flows in cycles rather than straight lines. There are seasons of receiving, when opportunities, money, and resources flow toward you with surprising ease. There are also seasons of giving when you're called to invest, share, and plant seeds for future harvest. Understanding and respecting this rhythm prevents you from forcing outcomes or panicking when the flow temporarily shifts direction. The hidden truth behind sustainable prosperity lies in recognizing that these cycles aren't random or chaotic. They follow natural laws just like the seasons, the tides, and the phases of the moon. When you attune yourself to this rhythm, you begin making decisions that work with these natural cycles rather than against them. You know when to act boldly and when to wait patiently, when to invest aggressively and when to consolidate what you have. This level of attunement requires what ancient wisdom traditions understood as the integration of mind, body, and spirit into a harmonious whole. Achieving true prosperity isn't just about having the right thoughts or following the correct strategies. It requires aligning your mind's thoughts, your body's health, and your spirit's intuitive wisdom into perfect synchronization. When your mind is focused on abundance, but your body is stressed and depleted, the mixed signals create internal conflict that blocks the flow of prosperity. When your spirit knows the right direction, but your mind is filled with doubt and fear, you become paralyzed and unable to act on opportunities. When your body feels vital and your mind is clear but you've lost connection with your spiritual guidance, you might work hard in the wrong direction. The transformation happens when these three aspects work together as a unified system. Your mind provides clarity and focus, understanding the principles of abundance and making wise decisions. Your body maintains the energy and vitality needed to take inspired action and follow through on opportunities. Your spirit offers the intuitive guidance that leads you toward experiences and people that support your highest prosperity. Behind the scenes of this integration, you become what I call a powerful vessel for abundance, someone who naturally attracts opportunities without force or struggle. People are drawn to your energy because they can sense the harmony within you. Ideas flow to you more freely because your clear mind is receptive to inspiration. Your body has the stamina to capitalize on opportunities because you've maintained your physical foundation. The impact of achieving this harmonic integration extends far beyond financial results. You begin experiencing a quality of life that money alone could never provide. Deep satisfaction, authentic relationships, meaningful work, and a sense of purpose that gives context to your prosperity. Now, I want to explore one of the most profound aspects of this integration: how to bridge the apparent gap between spiritual growth and material success, creating a unified approach that honors both dimensions of human experience. Write in the comments, "I'm integrating mind, body, spirit," if you're ready to align all aspects of yourself for effortless abundance, rather than forcing prosperity through willpower alone. Bridging the apparent gap between spiritual growth and material success reveals one of the most profound misconceptions that keeps people struggling unnecessarily with money. Your spiritual essence and physical reality aren't separate domains competing for your attention. They represent two sides of the same coin, two aspects of one unified existence that are meant to support and enhance each other. This integration operates like a thriving garden that requires both visible elements and invisible nourishment to flourish. You can see the plants, flowers, and fruits above ground, but beneath the surface lies an intricate network of roots, nutrients, and soil microorganisms that make the visible abundance possible. Your material wealth functions the same way. It requires spiritual nourishment to flourish sustainably and meaningfully over time. The hidden truth that transforms everything is understanding that wealth without spiritual foundation becomes hollow and ultimately unsatisfying, while spiritual growth without material manifestation often lacks the practical power to create real impact in the world. When you honor both dimensions simultaneously, you create a synergy that accelerates your results in both areas. This unified approach eliminates the internal conflict that sabotages so many people's financial success. Instead of feeling guilty about wanting money or believing that spiritual people should reject material abundance, you begin to see wealth as a tool for expressing your highest values and serving your deepest purposes. Money becomes a means of amplifying your positive impact rather than something that compromises your spiritual integrity. The journey toward this integration requires mastering what quantum physics reveals as vibrational frequency alignment. Just as you tune your personal energy like adjusting a radio dial to receive a specific station, you must consciously align with wealth's energetic signature to attract sustainable abundance. This isn't about pretending you're wealthy when you're not, but about embodying the emotional states that naturally accompany true prosperity. The transformation happens when you choose to experience feelings of freedom, security, and happiness now, rather than waiting for external wealth to provide these emotional states. This creates the magnetic attraction for abundance, because the universe responds to your current vibrational output, not your future goals or past struggles. When you radiate the energy of someone who feels genuinely prosperous, opportunities begin appearing that match this energetic signature. Behind the scenes of this vibrational alignment, you're literally programming your reality to deliver experiences that confirm your internal state. Your decisions change, your confidence expands, your actions become more aligned with prosperity, and your ability to recognize and seize opportunities increases dramatically. People begin treating you differently because they can sense the shift in your energy even before your external circumstances reflect it. This process reveals why some people attract money effortlessly, while others struggle, despite working harder. It's not about deserving or being worthy. It's about matching the frequency of what you want to experience. When your internal state aligns with wealth consciousness, external abundance becomes inevitable because you're operating according to universal laws rather than fighting against them. The impact of achieving this vibrational alignment extends into every area of your life, because prosperity consciousness affects how you show up in relationships, career opportunities, creative projects, and personal growth endeavors. Now, I want to explore the practical mechanics of how this frequency alignment actually works in your daily life, revealing the specific internal codes that either activate or block your natural abundance. Write in the comments, "I'm aligning with wealth frequency," if you're ready to embody prosperity consciousness now, rather than waiting for external circumstances to create these feelings for you. The practical mechanics of how this frequency alignment works in your daily life involve understanding and activating what I call the internal abundance codes that exist within your consciousness. These aren't mystical secrets hidden in ancient texts or external formulas that only a privileged few can access. They're inherent potentials within you that are as natural as your breath or heartbeat, simply waiting for the right conditions to activate and express themselves fully. These abundance codes function like dormant software programs installed in your consciousness from birth, containing all the instructions needed to create sustainable prosperity. The challenge isn't acquiring new information or learning complex techniques. It's removing the interference patterns that block these natural codes from operating at full capacity. Most people spend their lives looking outside themselves for abundance strategies when everything they need already exists within their own consciousness. The activation process happens through three primary pathways: aligned thinking, that supports rather than sabotages your prosperity; grateful appreciation, that acknowledges abundance already present in your experience; and purposeful action, that demonstrates your commitment to the transformation journey. When these three elements work together consistently, they create the perfect conditions for your internal abundance codes to come online and begin reshaping your reality. Behind the scenes of this activation, you're essentially awakening capabilities that have been suppressed by years of conditioning, doubt, and misunderstanding about your true nature. As these codes become active, you begin making decisions differently, recognizing opportunities more quickly, and attracting resources with increasing ease because you're operating from your authentic abundance blueprint rather than struggling against it. The transformation accelerates when you understand how to harness visualization as your paintbrush and intention as your paint to consciously craft your desired reality. This isn't casual daydreaming or wishful thinking. This is sophisticated mental technology that works by creating vivid mental movies where you're the star, living the abundant life you're choosing to create. When you engage in this level of detailed visualization, your subconscious mind begins programming itself for abundance because it cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and actual reality. Every sensory detail you include, every emotion you generate, every conversation you imagine, creates new neural pathways that support the manifestation of these experiences in your physical world. The power of this process multiplies exponentially when you combine visualization with clear intention. While visualization provides the detailed blueprint of what you want to create, intention supplies the driving force that propels these mental images from the realm of possibility into physical manifestation. Intention isn't just wanting something, it's the focused decision that you're committed to becoming the person who naturally experiences this level of abundance. The impact of mastering these creative tools extends far beyond achieving specific financial goals. You begin to understand yourself as a conscious creator, rather than a victim of circumstances, someone who actively participates in designing your life experience rather than passively waiting for things to improve. Now, I want to explore one of the most challenging yet liberating aspects of this entire journey, learning to surrender to the natural ebb and flow of abundance while maintaining your commitment to prosperity consciousness. Write in the comments, "My abundance codes are activating," if you're ready to awaken these natural potentials within yourself and start operating from your authentic prosperity blueprint. Learning to surrender to the natural ebb and flow of abundance represents one of the most challenging yet liberating aspects of this transformation journey. Most people resist this concept because they've been conditioned to believe that surrender means giving up, becoming passive, or accepting less than they deserve. But true surrender in the context of abundance creation is actually about embracing the natural cycles that govern all prosperity. Just like ocean tides that rise and fall according to cosmic forces far greater than any individual will. Understanding that both highs and lows are part of the universal rhythm prevents you from panicking when abundance temporarily seems to decrease or slow down. These apparent setbacks aren't evidence that you're doing something wrong or that the principles aren't working. They're simply part of the natural breathing pattern of prosperity, the cosmic inhale and exhale that characterizes all growth and expansion in the universe. Surrendering doesn't mean becoming passive or abandoning your goals. It means trusting the universe's perfect timing while maintaining unwavering faith in the inevitable return of prosperity. This trust allows you to make decisions from wisdom rather than fear, to act from inspiration rather than desperation, and to remain centered even when external circumstances appear challenging. Behind the scenes of this surrender process, you're developing what I call abundance resilience, the ability to maintain your prosperity consciousness regardless of temporary fluctuations in your financial situation. This resilience becomes one of your greatest assets because it prevents you from making fear-based decisions that could derail your long-term abundance trajectory. The journey toward mastering this surrender requires expanding your definition of wealth far beyond material possessions and monetary accumulation. True abundance encompasses the richness of experiences that feed your soul, the depth of relationships that provide genuine connection, the satisfaction of personal growth that expands your capabilities, the joy of love and laughter that enrich your daily existence, and the meaningful opportunities to serve others that give your life purpose. When you begin to recognize and appreciate these diverse forms of abundance that already exist in your experience, something remarkable happens to your relationship with money. You stop approaching financial goals from a place of emptiness and desperation, because you already feel genuinely wealthy in the areas that matter most. This shift in perspective creates the perfect energetic conditions for monetary wealth to flow naturally into your life. The hidden truth is that the universe responds more readily to gratitude than to need. When you appreciate the abundance you already have, You're broadcasting a signal that says, I'm someone who recognizes and values prosperity, which magnetizes even more abundance toward you. This creates an upward spiral where appreciation leads to more experiences worthy of appreciation. The transformation deepens when you realize that every form of wealth in your life is interconnected. Your rich relationships provide emotional support that enables you to take financial risks. Your good health gives you the energy to pursue opportunities. Your personal growth expands your capacity to create value for others. Your sense of purpose attracts people and situations that support your financial goals. Now, I want to explore how this expanded understanding of wealth connects to the practical process of clearing the specific pathways through which financial abundance can flow into your everyday experience. Write in the comments, I appreciate all forms of wealth. If you're ready to embrace this broader definition of abundance and trust the natural cycles of prosperity rather than forcing outcomes through struggle and control. Clearing the specific pathways through which financial abundance can flow into your everyday experience requires a systematic approach to identifying and eliminating the invisible barriers that block your natural prosperity. These barriers operate like debris in a river, creating turbulence and resistance that prevents the smooth flow of abundance into your life. The most common obstacles include deeply embedded limiting beliefs about your worthiness to receive wealth, unconscious feelings that you don't deserve financial success, and an inability to genuinely envision yourself living prosperously. These internal blockages create energetic static that interferes with the clear transmission of your abundance intentions to the universe. The transformation process involves confronting these barriers head-on rather than trying to work around them or pretend they don't exist. When you identify a limiting belief like, money corrupts people, or I'm not smart enough to be wealthy, you can consciously choose to transform these obstacles into stepping stones through targeted visualization, emotionally aligned affirmations, and deliberate reprogramming of your subconscious patterns. Behind the scenes of this clearing work, you're essentially performing energetic surgery on your consciousness, removing the tumor-like thoughts and emotions that have been draining your abundance potential. As these pathways clear, you'll notice that opportunities begin appearing more frequently, decisions become easier to make, and actions toward your financial goals feel more natural and effortless. The journey toward complete pathway clearance leads to mastering one of the most sophisticated aspects of wealth consciousness, the paradox of non-attachment. This principle requires learning to want money without being held hostage by it, working for prosperity without becoming enslaved to the pursuit, and appreciating wealth's value without worshiping it as the ultimate source of happiness and security. This delicate balance creates what I call harmonic resonance with abundance rather than the desperate neediness that actually repels money from your experience. When you achieve non-attachment, you're no longer coming from a place of lack trying to fill a void, but from a place of wholeness that naturally attracts more abundance because you're not energetically grasping or clinging. The hidden truth behind this paradox is that the universe responds more readily to confident expectation than to desperate need. When you can hold your financial goals lightly, pursuing them with enthusiasm while remaining unattached to specific outcomes or timelines, you create the perfect energetic conditions for rapid manifestation. This non-attachment doesn't mean you don't care about money or that you become passive about creating wealth. Instead, it means you pursue prosperity from a place of joy and excitement rather than fear and anxiety. You work toward your goals because you enjoy the process of creation and growth, not because you're trying to escape some terrible fate. The impact of mastering this paradox extends into every area of your life because non-attachment naturally increases your personal power, confidence, and ability to make clear decisions that serve your highest good. Now, I want to explore how this state of non-attachment creates the perfect foundation for developing a completely different kind of relationship with the source of all abundance itself. Write in the comments, I embrace non-attachment to money. If you're ready to pursue prosperity from wholeness rather than need, creating harmonic resonance with abundance instead of desperate grasping. Developing a completely different kind of relationship with the source of all abundance requires a fundamental shift in how you perceive your role in the cosmic dance of prosperity. Most people approach abundance from a position of separation, seeing themselves as small, powerless beings, trying to get something from a distant, mysterious universe that may or may not decide to bless them with wealth. The transformation happens when you recognize your integral role as a co-creator in this cosmic dance, rather than a bystander hoping for lucky breaks. This shift moves you from a getting mentality to a being mentality, where you understand yourself as a vessel through which abundance flows, rather than a beggar pleading for scraps from some external authority. This co-creative relationship operates on the understanding that you and the universe are partners in the manifestation process, not adversaries locked in struggle. The universe provides infinite potential and responds to your energetic signals, while you provide focus, intention, and the willingness to take inspired action. When you step into this partnership consciously, abundance becomes a collaborative effort, rather than a desperate attempt to convince the universe to give you what you want. Behind the scenes of this relationship shift, you're developing what I call source consciousness, the awareness that you're not separate from the intelligence that creates galaxies, grows forests, and orchestrates the intricate dance of life on Earth. This same creative force flows through you and responds to your conscious direction when you align with its natural principles. The journey toward mastering this co-creative relationship requires embracing your financial evolution with unwavering trust in the universe's guidance. This means understanding that each step of your prosperity journey, including the stumbles and apparent setbacks, serves as an integral part of your path to wealth, rather than evidence that you're failing or doing something wrong. Trusting your financial journey's unfolding requires a sophisticated understanding of how growth actually works in the universe. Just as a seed must break apart before it can become a tree, your old financial patterns often need to dissolve before new levels of abundance can emerge. The periods of uncertainty, challenge, and apparent lack are frequently the universe's way of preparing you for greater prosperity than you could have imagined. The hidden truth that transforms everything is recognizing that fear creates barriers while trust opens doorways to abundance. When you operate from fear, you make decisions that protect what you have rather than expanding into what's possible. You choose safety over growth, certainty over opportunity, and control over flow. These fear-based decisions consistently lead to stagnation and limitation. Trust, on the other hand, creates the perfect conditions for abundance to accelerate because it allows you to act on opportunities that fear would cause you to dismiss. Trusting the process means saying yes to experiences that stretch your comfort zone, investing in yourself even when you can't see the immediate return, and following your intuitive guidance even when logic suggests otherwise. The impact of developing this trust extends far beyond financial results because it fundamentally changes your relationship with uncertainty itself. Instead of seeing the unknown as threatening, you begin to view it as the space where all possibilities exist. Now, I want to explore how this trust creates the perfect foundation for unleashing your natural creativity and innovative spirit as powerful generators of sustainable wealth. Write in the comments, "I trust my abundance journey," if you're ready to embrace this co-creative relationship with the universe and trust the unfolding of your financial evolution, even during challenging periods. This trust creates the perfect foundation for unleashing what may be your most powerful, wealth-generating assets, your inherent creativity and innovative spirit. These aren't just nice-to-have qualities that make life more interesting. They're catalysts for generating sustainable prosperity that operates far beyond traditional money-making strategies. The hidden truth about wealth creation is that the biggest fortunes are built by people who venture beyond the traditional, safe approaches that everyone else follows. They dare to explore uncharted territories of imagination where true treasures await discovery through original thinking and bold action. Your creativity isn't just about artistic expression. It's about seeing solutions where others see problems, recognizing opportunities that others overlook, and developing innovative approaches to challenges that confound conventional thinking. Behind the scenes of every major financial breakthrough lies someone who refused to accept that things had to be done the way they'd always been done. They trusted their creative insights enough to act on ideas that seemed impossible or impractical to others. This willingness to honor your innovative impulses, even when they don't make logical sense, often leads to the most profitable discoveries. The journey toward harnessing creativity as a wealth generator requires moving beyond the safety of proven formulas and predetermined paths. This doesn't mean being reckless or abandoning wisdom. It means being willing to experiment, to test unconventional ideas, and to trust the creative intelligence that flows through you when you're aligned with abundance consciousness. This creative approach to wealth building naturally leads to the ultimate mastery, harmonizing your inner prosperity consciousness with your external financial circumstances by recognizing their deeply interconnected nature. Most people treat these as separate domains, working on mindsets separately from practical strategies, or focusing on external tactics while ignoring their internal state. The transformation happens when you understand that your inner state directly influences every financial decision you make, while your external experiences continuously shape and evolve your mindset. This creates a feedback loop where internal and external prosperity reinforce each other, requiring harmony between both domains for sustainable wealth creation. When your inner prosperity consciousness is strong but you neglect practical financial skills, you might feel abundant but struggle to manifest tangible results. When you master external strategies but maintain internal scarcity patterns, you might achieve temporary success that proves difficult to sustain. The integration of both dimensions creates the foundation for wealth that continues expanding naturally over time. The impact of achieving this harmony extends into every aspect of your financial life. Your investment decisions become more intuitive because you can sense opportunities that align with abundance consciousness. Your business choices reflect both practical wisdom and creative inspiration. Your spending habits naturally support your prosperity goals because your internal and external values are aligned. Now, I want to explore the most advanced level of this integration, where you begin to understand the metaphysical dimensions of wealth accumulation and how consciousness itself becomes the ultimate technology for creating lasting abundance. Write in the comments, "I'm harmonizing inner and outer wealth," if you're ready to integrate prosperity, consciousness with practical action, creating sustainable abundance through the marriage of spiritual awareness and material mastery. Understanding the metaphysical dimensions of wealth accumulation reveals that consciousness itself becomes the ultimate technology for creating lasting abundance. When you grasp that your awareness, your thoughts, your emotional states, and your energetic alignment are literally the tools that shape your financial reality, you realize that everything we've explored together isn't just theory, it's practical technology for transforming your life. What you've discovered in this journey goes far beyond typical money advice or financial strategies. You've tapped into principles that operate at the deepest levels of reality itself, where thought becomes form, where consciousness creates experience, and where your inner transformation directly reshapes your outer world. If you've stayed with me through this entire exploration, you understand that becoming money isn't just a metaphor. It's a fundamental shift in identity that changes everything about how abundance shows up in your life. This understanding separates you from the countless people who continue chasing wealth from the outside, while remaining disconnected from the source of prosperity within themselves. The value in what we've shared here extends far beyond any single financial goal or monetary target. These principles, when truly embodied, transform every area of your existence because they reveal how reality actually works at the quantum level, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. I create content like this because I know there are people ready for this deeper understanding, ready to move beyond surface-level techniques into the realm where real transformation happens. If this resonates with your journey, subscribing to the channel ensures you'll continue receiving insights that support your evolution into the prosperous being you're meant to become. The connection we've created through these concepts deserves your like on this video, not because I'm asking for it, but because you recognize the value in having these deeper conversations about wealth consciousness in a world that desperately needs this understanding. For those who've truly absorbed what we've explored together, Write in the comments, "I am becoming the money." Let me know you've stayed until the end, and that these principles are taking root in your consciousness. There's a video right here that takes this transformation even deeper, exploring how to apply these metaphysical principles to your specific financial situations. Click and continue with me over there, because your abundance journey is just beginning.